Atkinson together, at least to start the game?
Yeah, well, I think I can play Wenny with anybody. And I've done that here since he's been back, because he ends up getting people the puck. I mean, Atkinson's ended up scoring a couple of goals there late in the game. We'll probably start the game that way tonight. We'll see where we go.
John, the flavor of the National Hockey League, whenever you talk to a coach about his team, what would he like to see get done? Most of the time, everybody talks about consistency.
Yeah.
Do you have any theory on why that's such a touchy subject?
Consistency's, Butchie, I'll talk about our team as far as the lack of consistency. I think that to become consistent, it is a constant preparation, mentally, understanding your team concept, buying into your team concept, and consistently working at good habits as an individual, as a player, and then within the team concept as a team. It's hard because you're playing every other night. You may be tired. There are a lot of travel, and sometimes you get lazy, not maliciously, not being a lazy person, but it's a grind. But you have to stay on top of yourself, especially for this team here, because I think we have a lot to learn as far as how to play and how to become consistently competitive. Forget about the results, just competitive in the league. So that's a huge point for this club right now, as far as how can we get that type of mindset of being prepared every day. Practice days, game days, meetings, and then I think it becomes instinctual. It becomes a habit. That's how you become consistent in the league.
Is it much harder to do that when you come in 8 or 9 games in and try to instill that?
Yeah, because what I'm talking about is a process. We're a young team. It's a young team. And I still think the team needs to go through the process of learning how to win. And then you get to the next step, is that you feel you're going to win. You know what I mean? That type of mental toughness. I think we're still knee-deep in the process of how to win. But you're also trying to keep your head above water here and trying to find a way to win some games. So I balance that. Arthur, the short term, I was trying to win tonight, but also the long term, as far as, am I doing the right thing short term with that guy to get him to a much better long-term goal? So it's a constant balancing act that way. And you're doing it with 23 different individuals and trying to make a read on that. So yeah, it's interesting.
John, you used the term engagement with winning. Would you like to see all the guys have that level of engagement, or are you seeing that level of engagement team-wide?
Not consistently enough, and that's what for anybody, for a fan, for a coach, for an announcer, you see your team get to a certain spot, and you say, man, there it is, and then within 24 hours or 48 hours, whatever, and you just see it fluctuate. Listen, it's a hard game. These guys play a lot of games, and you're not always going to be at your best. What I'd like to see with our club is to get there and to a level. I still don't think we know what level we need to get to, but at least to get to a competitive level. But keep it in that plane, not the big drop, and that's what I've seen since I've been here, and that's part of youth. That's part of the engagement into preparation of being ready as best you can. You're not always going to be 100%, but you've got to give us everything you can of what percentage you have on that particular game.
This team, and what do the rest of the guys have to do while he's out?
Well, your goaltender is your most important player. We're wounded. I mean, there's no question. We're wounded losing Bob. That's a huge injury, because teams don't win consistently, as that word seems to be being thrown around here this morning, if your goaltender isn't your best player every night. So yeah. So to answer the other part of your question, what we have to do, we have to find a way. We don't have Bob. We're not going to have him for a while. Mac's in there and hasn't played much, and there's going to be, it's a difference. Bob is a better goalie than Mac. I mean, and that's not a negative thing. Bob is our number one guy. Mac is, I guess, is our second goalie. But we have to find a way to support him and change a little bit in how in our concentration as far as defending, and be rock solid within our structure. And that's what was frustrating to me in Winnipeg. And going through the games here, with being wounded at that position, your structure has to be that much more sound. And I think we went the wrong way in Winnipeg with our structure. I know this team can play in structure. I've seen it. We've got to get there quickly, or it's going to make it just that much more difficult to win. And it'll also support Mac.
The last time the Islanders played this team, you've become coach. How do you think they've progressed?
I haven't even looked at the Islanders. I haven't. I've watched the special teams, but we don't spend a lot of time, and it's no disrespect to the Islanders. Very well coached, a very good team, but we have enough things with our club that we have to worry about in our structure, in our concept, to play. There's not a lot of difference amongst teams. This isn't a very complicated league, so we don't spend any time 5-on-5 with tape. There'll be a few points I'll bring up in tonight's meeting about the Islanders, but it's 99% of the focus is on our structure and how we're going to play.
John, what do you like about Luke Jennings? You thought he played very well watching some of the games.
Yeah. He's been inconsistent, but he's a guy. He'll chase down pucks, Butchie. He's in the areas on the power play and 5-on-5 in the blue. He scores a lot of goals there. He's strong in the puck battles. Still like to see him more consistent there as far as around the puck and holding on to pucks when he doesn't have a play, especially in our end zone. Just don't give it back to the other team. So he's been he's a player that I think fits the style of play we want to play, and I think has done a pretty good job here. He's fluctuated a little bit the last little bit, but he's an important man to us here if we're going to find our way. Connaught will be in tonight, yeah. No, Prout comes out tonight, yeah.
Did you use a goal tonight?
No. Same lineup. Other than that change, it'll be the same lineup.